Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Shaheen Ahmed. Welcome to the chemistry classes. Today I am going to teach you class 10th chemistry chapter acid, bases and salts. About the acids and bases, already I have explained you in my previous videos, in which I have told you about the properties of acids, properties of bases and the different things related with the acids and bases. Now here this is one topic, and that is importance of pH in everyday life. This is the last topic of acids and bases. Actually this chapter is divided into three parts: acid, base and salt. So acid and base already we have finished. Now there is a time to discuss about the salts. But before that, one heading is written: importance of pH in everyday life. There are some examples which are given here. In this we will study what is the importance of pH in everyday life, and this point some examples are there that you can read yourself as homework, either from NCERT or from the reference. Now we are moving ahead to discuss something about the salts. Now what is the salt? Salt are the substances which are formed from the acid and base. So see, the definition is written: a salt is a compound formed from an acid and a base. When an acid reacts with the base, then they form salt and water. For example, HCl is the acid, and there is a little mistake, NaCl. It is not actually the NaCl, it is NaOH. So all of you consider this NaOH, and that will be base. So HCl plus NaOH give rise to NaCl plus H2O, and here NaCl, the compound which is formed, that is called salt. Now in the next table it is given some important salts, and their formula are as follows: like sodium chloride NaCl, calcium chloride CaCl2, magnesium sulfate MgSO4, zinc carbonate ZnCO3, copper sulfate CuSO4. These are only the few examples which are given here about the salts. Now our next heading is chemicals from common salt. It means we will study few compounds which are obtained from sodium chloride, and that is NaCl. And in this, the first compound, that is sodium hydroxide. It is very important compound, sodium hydroxide. And before explaining this, all of you see this diagram which is given here. Wait a minute. Let me magnify this image. See, in this image there is a cell, and in this cell NaCl in the aqueous form it is taken, and NaCl in the aqueous form it is called brine. So we take in the beaker brine solution, that is sodium chloride solution, and we adjust two electrode here, one left side and one right side. Right side electrode, that is called cathode, and it is negatively charged. Left side electrode, anode, it is positively charged. And afterwards we pass the electric current in this anode and cathode. When we pass the electric current in this cell, then sodium chloride which is present with the water, some chemical reactions occur, and finally the hydrogen gas is liberated at the cathode, chlorine is liberated at the anode, and the sodium hydroxide that is formed near to the cathode. All of you see, in the cathode upside you see the hydrogen gas is liberated, left side at the anode chlorine gas is liberated, and downside you see below the cathode NaOH is deposited. So we say when the electric current is passed in the aqueous solution of NaCl, then hydrogen is liberated at the cathode, chlorine is liberated at the anode, and NaOH is obtained near to the cathode. And in this process, since chlorine is formed as well as one alkali is formed, and that is NaOH. NaOH is the base, और जो water soluble bases होते हैं, they are called alkalis. So since in this chlorine is formed and one alkali, that is NaOH, is formed, so that is why this process is also called as chloralkali process. It is very important process. Very often in the board exam it comes with this name. Explain the chloralkali process and what are the main products of this process. So you will write the chloralkali process is a process in which the chlorine and the alkali, they are formed as a product, and mainly this chlorine and sodium hydroxide, this we obtain at the time of manufacturing sodium hydroxide. Now I am minimizing this. You can see the language also. Chlorine gas is given off at the anode and hydrogen gas at the cathode. Sodium hydroxide solution is formed near to the cathode. Since alkali and chlorine both are formed in this process, that is why the process is called chloralkali process. Our next topic is, and that is bleaching powder. See the language. Bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime, and slaked lime is CaOH whole twice. इसे कहते हैं बुझा हुआ चूना, slaked lime. Slaked lime कैसे बनता है? When the calcium oxide यानी कि चूना when dissolves in the water, then it reacts and forms slaked lime, that is CaOH whole twice. So see the reaction. CaOH whole twice, that is slaked lime, reacts with the chlorine, then it forms CaOCl2. This CaOCl2 is called calcium oxychloride, also known as bleaching powder. And what are the uses of bleaching powder? First use, for bleaching cotton. Bleaching word means to make the color of the substances fade. जब भी कभी हम लोग word use करते हैं bleaching, तो it means making the color of the substances fade. So जैसे for example the paper that is obtained from the wood, and what is the color of the wood? That is brown. But the paper which we get for writing, that is white in color. It means the color of the wood is bleached. So this is the sense of bleaching. So first part, the bleaching cotton, for bleaching cotton and linen in the textile industry. Textile means जो कपड़े की फैक्ट्री होती है, that is the textile industries. For bleaching wood pulp in paper factory, जो wood का जो गूदा होता है, that is called wood pulp in the paper factory, and in the bleaching, and for bleaching washed cloth in the laundry. Second point, as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. Third point, for disinfecting drinking water to make it free from germs. Bleaching powder can also be used for the disinfection of water, to disinfect the water. Actually, bleaching powder when dissolves in the water, it produces chlorine gas, and chlorine gas is mainly responsible to kill germs in the water, and that is why it is used as disinfectant. Our next compound, which is obtained from sodium chloride, that is washing soda. Washing soda chemical formula is Na2CO3.10H2O, and it is called sodium carbonate decahydrate. Sodium carbonate decahydrate, Na2CO3.10H2O, washing soda. Now this washing soda, when it is prepared, then it is prepared under 3 steps. So I will explain you by seeing the equation. See the first equation, that is NaCl plus H2O, and I already told you aqueous solution of NaCl in water, that is called brine. So NaCl plus H2O, that is called brine, and that reacts with the ammonia and CO2, and first is form a compound, and that is NaHCO3, and it is called baking soda, sodium hydrogen carbonate, also known as baking soda. This is the first step for the preparation of washing soda. This is not washing soda, NaSCO3, this is baking soda. Now further 2 more steps are there. Now this baking soda, it is heated. 2 NaSCO3 give rise to heat. When the sodium hydrogen carbonate of baking soda is heated, then it forms Na2CO3 and this is called soda ash. This Na2CO3 does not contain any water molecule and that is why it is also called as anhydrous sodium carbonate, and anhydrous means without water. So Na2CO3, that is called anhydrous sodium carbonate or soda ash. And now finally the third step, that is Na2CO3, this is soda ash. When the water is added to this, then each one molecule of Na2CO3 adds with 10 molecules of water and it forms Na2CO3 dot 10H2O, and this 10H2O, that is called sodium carbonate decahydrate, also known as washing soda. So this is the preparation of washing soda under 3 steps. Uses of washing soda. First use, sodium carbonate is used in glass, soap and paper industry. Sodium carbonate is used in the glass, soap and paper industry. Second point, it is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. This washing soda can also be used for the preparation of another compound, and that is borax. Next, sodium carbonate can be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purposes. Washing soda जो घर में धोने के काम आता है, that is washing soda. Fourth point, it is used for removing permanent hardness of water. So these are the 4 main points are there, which are the uses of washing soda. Now see, next our topic, and that is baking soda. So in the preparation of baking soda, what do we write? We write only the first step of the preparation of washing soda. And what was the first step? That is NaCl plus H2O plus NH3 plus CO2 give rise to NaSCO3. So when we study washing soda, the first step of the preparation of washing soda is the preparation of baking soda. So I hope it is clear to you. NaCl plus H2O plus NH3 plus CO2 give rise to NaSCO3 plus NH4Cl, and this is baking soda. Properties. It is a mild non-corrosive base. Non-corrosive means it does not damage the things, does not harm the skin, like that. Next point, second step of the preparation of washing soda. And what is the second step of the preparation of washing soda? That is heating sodium hydrogen carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, this is NaSCO3, this is the baking soda. And baking soda, when it is heated, it forms Na2CO3 plus H2O plus CO2. Na2CO3 is also called as anhydrous sodium carbonate, or it is also called as soda ash. Uses of baking soda. Since it is a basic in nature, so it can be used to remove acidity to the stomach. So when a person suffers from acidity, then if this baking soda is taken, then it gives the relief in the acidity in the stomach. Second point, baking soda in combination with tartaric acid forms baking powder, which can be used to prepare cakes and bread. When baking powder is added to dough and when it is heated in oven, then it releases CO2 gas and makes the cake light, soft and spongy. What is the sense of this paragraph? Actually, whenever the cake is prepared, for the preparation of cake, we usually need baking powder. Actually, there is a difference in baking soda and baking powder. Baking soda only contains sodium hydrogen carbonate, but sodium hydrogen carbonate in combination with tartaric acid, it forms baking powder. Why the tartaric acid is added? That is another question. So remember, for the preparation of cake, we need baking powder, not only the baking soda. And baking powder means baking soda plus tartaric acid. And when this combination, that is the baking soda and tartaric acid, is added to dough, dough means जो गुदा हुआ आटा होता है, when this baking powder is mixed with the duff and afterwards it is heated in the oven, then sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda, on heating it produces CO2 gas, and when CO2 gas comes out from the duff, then it leaves behind the empty spaces and forms the duff, yani ke cake, light, spongy and fluffy. Now here I discuss with you one another question, why the tartaric acid is added into this. This is the another question, why the tartaric acid is added. So listen carefully. Actually, suppose if I take only the baking soda for the preparation of cake. So baking soda you will add in the duff and you will put in the oven, and when it is heated, just now you have studied sodium hydrogen carbonate यानी कि baking soda, when it is heated then it form sodium carbonate, और जो sodium carbonate होता है that is bitter in taste. Since it is a base, so it is bitter in taste, so it does not give the sweetness to the cake. तो हम क्या करते हैं, already we add tartaric acid. Tartaric acid is the acid, sodium carbonate is the base. So as and when on heating the sodium carbonate is formed, at once this sodium carbonate is neutralized by the tartaric acid and we get the cake sweet in taste. This is the reason why the tartaric acid is added to duff with the baking soda. Next property, it is also used in the soda acid fire extinguisher. Actually this sodium hydrogen carbonate, it can be used in the soda fire extinguisher also, जो आग बुझाने वाले जो apparatus होते हैं, in that also it is used. Actually in this cylinders, this sodium hydrogen carbonate and one acid, both the things are there. Whenever it is needed, we just take the cylinder and we open it from the top. When we open it from the top, the knob of the cylinder that breaks, and inside internally the acid and sodium hydrogen carbonate, they react to each other, and when they react they form the huge amount of CO2 gas, and this CO2 gas comes out from the cylinder, and wherever the things catches fire, it is sprayed over that, and that helps in extinguishing the fire. So that is why we can say this sodium hydrogen carbonate can also be used to extinguish the fire. Our next topic is hydrated salt or water of crystallization. Actually hydrated salts are another important type of compound. Actually those type of compound in which such type of water molecules are added with the compound, जैसे for example Na2CO3.10H2O, CuSO4.5H2O, CaSO4.2H2O, FeSO4.7H2O. These type of compound in which these water molecules are attached, these water molecules are called water of crystallization, and such type of salts are called hydrated salts. Now we come to the another heading, action of heat on hydrated salt. Action of heat on the hydrated salt, you see with the help of this equation you can understand better. So see what is happening here on heating the hydrated salt. I have taken here CuSO4.5H2O and this is called copper sulfate pentahydrate, and it is available in the labs. Its actual color is blue. When it dissolves in the water, it gives very beautiful blue color. Now when we take this copper sulfate pentahydrate यानी कि CuSO4.5H2O in the test tube in the dry form and we heat up, then what happens? All these water molecules, they are evaporated, and very clearly on the inner wall of the test tube you can observe these water vapors. After the removal of the water vapors, what is left? That is only CuSO4, and it is called anhydrous copper sulfate, and that color is white. It means you can say that blue color of copper sulfate pentahydrate, on heating it produces anhydrous copper sulfate, and the blue color that disappears and it converts into white in color. So copper sulfate, only CuSO4, that gives white color. Now in the test tube this CuSO4 is there, which is white in color. Now we have what we have to do in the same test tube. Now we add water again after the evaporation of water. Now CuSO4, which is white in color, now we add water in this. Now each molecule of copper sulfate adds with 5 water molecules again, and it forms CuSO4.5H2O, and the white color of this anhydrous copper sulfate that converts into blue in color. So this is the action of heat of hydrated salt. One time more you see CuSO4.5H2O, that is blue in color. When we heat up, all the water molecules are evaporated and we get anhydrous copper sulfate, which is white in color. Now in the same test tube we add water again. When we add the water, each molecule of copper sulfate that adds with 5 water molecule, and it again forms CuSO4.5H2O, that is copper sulfate pentahydrate. So first its color was blue, on heating converts into white in color. Again we add water, then again it converts into blue in color. So this is all about action of heat on hydrated salt. Now our next topic is, and that is Plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris. How it is prepared, Plaster of Paris? You see, for the preparation of Plaster of Paris we need a compound, and that is called gypsum, and its chemical formula is CuSO4.2H2O. Copper sulfate, this is not actually Cu, actually it is Ca. So it is a little mistake, all of you correct it. It is CaSO4.2H2O, calcium sulfate dihydrate, and that is gypsum. On heating at 100 degrees Celsius, it loses 1.5 water molecule, and it finally forms CaSO4.5H2O, and this is called calcium sulfate hemihydrate, and hemi means half. Listen again, CaSO4.2H2O, that is calcium sulfate dihydrate, that is called gypsum. On heating at 100 degrees Celsius, it releases 1.5 molecules of water, and it forms CaSO4.5H2O, and this is called Plaster of Paris. In short, we can write POP. Now, properties of POP. First, it is a white powder. You know very well POP, white powder. It has a very good property of setting into a hard mass. This is hard mass on wetting with water. When water is mixed with the POP, then POP gets hydrated and converts into the hard mass of gypsum. Very often you might have seen then in the orthopedic hospitals where the bones of a person is fractured, then what the doctors they do, they use POP powder. They take the POP powder and they mix with the water and they leave it for some time. So when POP comes in contact with the water, it converts into a hard mass, and that is called gypsum. So this is the property. See the language, it has a very good property of setting into a hard mass on wetting with water. When the water is mixed with POP, then POP gets hydrated and convert into the hard mass of gypsum. So see POP formula, CaSO4.5H2O plus 1.5 H2O. This means water. So half H2O and 1.5 H2O, finally it forms CaSO4.2H2O, and that is gypsum. It is a hard mass. Uses of POP. First use, it is used in the hospital for setting fractured bones in the right position to ensure healing. All of you know very well the POP, the best use, that is in the orthopedic hospital. Whenever a bone is fractured of a person, then what the doctors they do, they use POP to heal the fractured bones, so that the fractured bone can be kept for longer time in the right position, so that easily it can join. Second point, it is used in making toys, cosmetics, blackboard chalk and cast of statues. Cast of statues means जो statues बनाने के frames आते हैं, that also can be prepared with the help of POP. Third, it is used for making surfaces smooth. Surfaces को smooth करने के काम आता है. That is why it is used to make designs in the ceilings of the houses. हम लोग के घरों में अक्सर जो ceilings होते हैं उनको decorate किया जाता है with the help of this POP. And now the last point, that is it is used as a fireproofing materials. So this is all about the uses of POP. Now almost this chapter is finished, and many of the things I have explained you about the acid, base and salts. Now many of the questions are given in the NCERT in between the chapter and at the last of the chapter in the form of exercise. So in the free time, all of you do the question answers and find out the answers in a better way, so that all the points about this chapter can be clarified to you. Thank you.